It is 7:30 in the East, or it's probably 7:30 in the East, or it's probably 7:31 because YouTube played that funky 1 minute intro at 7:30. So 7:31 in the East, and welcome to Phisherman's Secret Garden, first pre-show. Hopefully not the only or last pre-show. And we're pre-recorded tonight. Hopefully be live next week. But we're gonna go pre-recorded. I recorded this morning. And it should launch at 7:30. The show to follow at 8 o'clock. And the show is coming to you from a secret location, which if you don't have the link for tonight's show, good luck finding it at this point. If you find it, great. And if you can't, be sure to email me at Phisherman's Wharf Channel at gmail.com. And I will add you to the mailing list where I am sending the link now on Saturdays, because the wharf is gone and we're going to only stream live from a secret location, Phisherman's Secret Garden. My pre-shows, there's no copyright. I play no music. There's no copyright problems on my pre-show. My pre-shows will be on this channel. And at 8 o'clock, you'll move over to the secret link that I have sent you by email. Right now, there's only about 17 people on my email list. I never was able to translate 2,000 subscribers into an email list or a very big Twitter following. I got a few hundred Twitter followers, and I'm not posting the link on Twitter anymore. If you're only hearing me from Twitter, you have to send me a direct message, a DM, every week to get the link. So even if you're a Twitter person, send me an email, because I will send out the link to everybody on the email list. I sent it. Well, by the time you've seen this link went out to everybody on my email list. I haven't sent that out at the time I'm recording it, because I'm going to put the link to the pre-show in that email too. And hopefully get more than 5 people on a Saturday night to watch a live stream. That's what we had last week, 5 people. And I appreciate Gary and I can't remember everybody who showed up. Aiden was there. Some of my diehard regulars who show up every Saturday night followed me to the new Secret Garden. They're on my email list. They got the link. They were there last week. We showed a Rising Tour show from the final night at Giant Stadium, that 10-night stand. Got that shirt. I thought that was going to help me build an email list. Really didn't. I got that shirt from Giant Stadium 2003. I'm going to give that away next week. There's 17 people on my email list. 1 out of 17 is going to get that, unless I get some more signups this week. Sign up. Just all you got to do is send me an email. I'll add you to my contact list for that email address. You'll get the link every week as long as we're doing this, which I don't know how long. I don't know how long we can keep doing this. I really was hoping we could do it through the tour, but I'm really sad about the channel, and I don't know. I don't know how long I'm up for the covert thing. I just I'm not having as much fun as I was 2 weeks ago. The tour is coming. I like to do pre-shows, even when I'm not at the show, talk to somebody at the show. All those plans I had, I still want to do them. But I'm going to lose without the live stream on the channel promoting itself, I'm going to lose my audience. I'm going to try to maintain. My diehards are going to be there. I appreciate you guys. I'm sure you're the ones who are going to watch this pre-show tonight. Help me build, I guess. Then I'm afraid to build too strong, and before you know it, you got to cease and desist. They're trying to keep I try and keep the copyright content off of YouTube. So what else did I want to talk about today? We're going to give away the t-shirt next week. It's a vintage 2003 Giant Stadium tour shirt. They did a different shirt for every night, different color. The front was the same. The back had a number on it representing the number 1 through 10. There were 10 shows. And every shirt was a different color. I've got a beige number 7 or gray, dark gray. It's like, I thought it was right around here. So here it is. New in plastic. Never been worn. It's been in storage. It's 20 years. It's going on 20 years next year. This shirts like this used. 20-year-old tour shirt used goes for $100 on eBay. It's brand new. It's only a size large. But whoever gets this, you're not going to wear it, right? You're going to put it away. Giving it away. I've been promising to give it away for months. I thought I could build 150 people in the contest and build up a big mailing list. And there's 17 people. Still time. One more week. I'm going to do it a week. I was going to do it tonight, but then we're not live. I wanted to do it live. So let's see. We are not sure what the future holds. I took some notes, make sure I cover it all. Not sure what the future holds. And as far as, my edits and dubs, I'm still going to do them. I love them. I make them for me so I can watch them. As far as sharing them, I don't know. To go by the letter of the law, the copyright law, everybody has to make their own. You buy the audio, and then you can make your own video with it. You've got fair use. You can do whatever you want with it. But when the iffy part is when you start sharing it and giving it to somebody else, because now you're handing out licensed material. Now, I like to believe that most of the people who get a copy of one of my videos, they have already purchased the download. That most diehard fans buy everything, and the only people who collect full show concert videos are diehard fans. Casual fans might watch a YouTube video here and there, but only diehards are seeking out their own copy. And a lot of them aren't even buying do you know there's some diehard fans? Hello, Mr. Sony Music and Mr. John Landau and Mr. Nugs and all you people who are so worried about copyright and every penny. Do you know that there are fans who buy the download and the pre-burned CD that you mail to them for an astronomical extra charge because you don't send those for a month and they want to hear it, but just having the download's not enough. They've got to have everything. They got to have the pre-printed. I don't even know. I don't understand people who buy burned discs, but the fans are buying the downloads. I put at the end of every one of my videos, you can buy the audio for this at Nugs. I bought the audio to put on it, fair use. Why'd you get on my ass? I was promoting your goods for free. I didn't ask you for anything. On my channel. So the law is what it is, and YouTube is what it is, and Nugs is what it is. And though it was fun while it lasted, Fisherman's Wharf is dead. And I'm not sure if Fisherman's Secret Garden is going to end up worth the effort for 5 viewers a week. But we're going to keep trying. Tour is coming. Still have things to say. And take advantage of some of this time. Maybe we'll build back up. I know that there's people looking for Fisherman's Wharf, and they're not finding it. Well, Svetlana, poor Svetlana, in Croatia. Poor Svetlana in Croatia. She's got to be beside herself, wondering what happened to Fisherman's Wharf. It became very important to her. But I promise you, Svetlana, if you're out there, it's very important to me too. So anyway, here's what I want to talk about today before the show. If you read Backstreets Web Site. There is no Backstreets magazine anymore, and there hasn't been one for like 10 years or more. I don't even know how many years it's been since they've published a magazine. They still sell a subscription, from what I understand. On their website, there's a link to purchase the subscription. I think they'll still take your money, but they haven't put out an issue in like 10 years. And they still call themselves Backstreets Magazine because I don't know, because the owner of the website owned the magazine when it existed. It doesn't exist anymore. But they posted on their news page letters to the editor or the moderator, the website moderator, letters to the moderator. And these are people who are upset about, and some of the things they say are just enraging, and they won't let me post on their site. So I'll talk about it here for a few minutes, because some of these letters, man, and if somebody watching this wrote one of these letters, I'm sorry in advance for what I'm about to say about you, because I'm sure you're a perfectly nice person, but you've got just some crazy ideas about your place in this world, your place in Bruce Springsteen's world, how important you are as an individual. Which, don't get me wrong, I think Bruce sees every single fan as very important, but he certainly doesn't feel like he owes you the things that you think he owes you. I think he owes you nothing. He thinks he owes you a good show. Well, he owes you, if you buy a ticket, he owes you a good show. People who aren't buying tickets, he doesn't owe you anything. So there's just a couple. I read them all. There's just a couple here I wanted to comment on. Dear editor, I appreciated your forceful editorial. If you read the editorial that they wrote a couple of months ago, taking their hero to task, biting the hand that feeds them for the magazine that they've put out, the fanzine they put out for, that they used to put out a decade ago. So they wrote Chris Phillips, I think, was involved in writing a scathing anti-ticket Bruce and John Landau bad article. It was a few months ago. I don't remember it to the gist. I remember reading it and just bite the hand that feeds you. That's what it kept coming to my head. Coming to my head. I mean, who do these people think they are? I don't know who Chris Phillips is if it's not for Bruce Springsteen. So I appreciated the forceful editorial on the ticket pricing fiasco. I love that word, fiasco, where he sold out 31 shows in the U.S. and except for Tulsa and Dallas and Houston, they're all sold out. There's nothing left but resale and a few dynamically priced, high-priced tickets that are there because they're dynamically priced. The show is an overwhelming success. That's not what fiasco means. Fiasco is a disaster. Roger Waters, his tickets went for $25 on the night of the show. That's a fiasco because he doesn't watch what he says, and people didn't like what he said, and now nobody's going to see Roger Waters. But everybody's going to see Springsteen. He's sold out everywhere. At top dollar, not $25. There's no $25 tickets in any Springsteen show. There's $59 seats, I think, in Tulsa or Dallas or Houston. Those are easier to get into. I experienced roughly the same as the others. I was so excited to get in the pre-sale, but the prices were fluctuating before my eyes, and I started panicking that I might get shut out 10 months in advance, kind of thinking that I've never supported, that you're going to get shut out. You can't get shut out until 7:30 on show night. 10 months to get a ticket. I got to buy one now during pre-sale. They're not even on sale. Okay, so I started panicking that I might get shut out. So I got a good, not great, seat for $429. I'll be going to this show by myself. I'm going by myself. Nothing wrong with going by yourself. This show is priced for fans. And not everybody's a fan. And sometimes you don't want to pay for your, okay, I'll go friend. And they don't want to pay to go see your favorite band. So you go by yourself. I like to go by myself. Going 2 shows by myself. Let's see. I'll be going by myself. Landau's line about dynamic pricing is PR speak. I don't know what that means. PR speak. When he released that statement, I was like, that's exactly what I've been trying to say. That's exactly what I would have said. They're pioneering a new and different means of ticket distribution and calling it normal. I mean, and nobody loves expensive prices. And people think, oh, I love expensive prices. I want to see people. I don't want to pay this kind of money for a fucking ticket. But I'm aware that that is completely outside of my control, and it's outside of Springsteen's control. And if you think it's not, you're insane. You have no idea what the concert world is. All right. He's not Goose. You know who Goose is? Exactly. You don't. So they're $50. You can get in a Goose for $50. Springsteen is the most sought after tour in rock and roll. You got Springsteen, you got John Bon Jovi, you got U2, you got Paul McCartney, Elton John is out there. These are all demanding these kind of prices. And not because they're greedy. Bruce Springsteen is set for life. His kids are set for life. His little baby granddaughter, I think it was a granddaughter, right, is set for life. She's set. She can't piss away that kind of wealth. There's greed. He doesn't need to get, his name makes money. His name's going to make money after he's gone. His family's taken care of forever. But a tour, which he loves to do, he doesn't have to do. He can stay home. He doesn't know anybody anything, go out and tour. He wants to tour. And because he wants to tour, an entire industry is feeding and clothing and putting a roof over the head of thousands of people nationwide. Hundreds of people will work on this tour for the next 2 years directly for the tour. And those people all make their living, I don't even know, 40,000, 60,000, 100,000. How much does it cost to have a full-time fucking employee? So this tour is going to have hundreds of them. And then every single market they play has people with their hand in the till. Promoters, arena staff, arena management, security, people coming to, it's astronomical. People are saying Springsteen is greedy. He's greedy. He doesn't need a penny. I think the ticket price is based on what he wants to put in his fucking pocket. That's ridiculous. People are ridiculous. It's PR speak. They're pioneering a new difference. They're calling it normal. And thanks. Here's what's normal. Supply and demand. They taught it to me in high school. I'm 54 years old, so we're talking 40 years ago. They taught me supply and demand, and it hasn't changed. The supply, Philadelphia show, they came out and said 90,000 people tried to pull tickets at 10 a.m. 90,000 logins. It's a 20,000 seat arena. Everybody's buying. Most people are buying 4, but let's just say everybody's buying 2. That's 180,000 seats to satisfy these people. And there's only 20,000 in the arena, and they never have ever released all of them at once. If they did, they'd all be gone in half a second. And you hear about people, oh, I got in I know it's bullshit because I got in at the stroke of 10 and everything was gone. Well, 80,000 people got in at the stroke of 10 with you. And 3,000 of them got to buy tickets and 77,000 didn't. So shut up. You talk out of your ass and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Gee, and it's Bruce Springsteen's fault for wanting to go on tour and help all these people make a living the next 2 years. Because without the tour, they have to make it somewhere else. Without Bruce Springsteen, all this shit falls apart. But everybody's mad at Bruce Springsteen. Why would he even he could stay home and sing soul songs into a fucking 8-track recorder and put those out for the rest of his life, and his family will eat like kings. Let's see. his line about only 11% of tickets were affected by dynamic pricing is an assertion that seems preposterous to you. Who the fuck are you, John M? Who the fuck are you? It seems preposterous to you, but you don't know shit. So shh, do less talking. I did see some cheap seats behind the stage, but everything else was prohibitively expensive. Well, then there's the value talk. If you don't value what it is, then don't buy it. It's the same with anything. If you don't see the value, if the price doesn't equal the value to you, you don't buy it. It's so simple. What happened with these tickets is indecent. It will sour the experience of lots of concert goers. Well, the six who wrote these emails that I'm reading to you now, that's 8 people. You know, that site loves to believe that they always like to say all the fans and we and when they really only speak for themselves and a few of their friends, and they ban anybody who thinks otherwise. That site, they love you if you just shit on Springsteen all day, but if you shit on the fans on the site, then they will kick you off. This show might go long. It might have started before 7:30. I might load it to start early, and then you're going to wonder why I said it's 7:31 when it was really 7:16. Dear editor, firstly, thank you so much for Backstreets. It has been my constant companion through the fun times. Been missing for 10 years. The slow times and now the sad times. Bruce shows were always the light in the darkness for me. Something to look forward to with great enthusiasm and optimism, and also to look back on with the fondest memories. A significant part of my life experience, and frankly, my identity. It has been a great 40-year run personally, but this train ride has come to the end of the line. That's so sad. You know my Bruce clip? That's so sad.
That's so sad. That's so sad.
That's so sad. It has been a great 40-year run personally, but this train ride has come to the end of the line. There is not even a shadow of a doubt in my mind that I have seen my last show. It sucks. And I feel we have been betrayed. But as I write this, there is no decision for me to ponder. It has been made for me. And somehow I think that makes acceptance just a bit easier. The weirdest part is that sadness is not my main emotion, yet it feels more like a sign of surrender. Acquiescing, is that right? I think it is. Acquiescing, I think he spelled it wrong. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I think he spelled it wrong. Acquiescing to this modern world and all the issues that constantly seem to arise and cause consternation. This guy took out his thesaurus. I do not begrudge anyone for earning money, but it does come as a shock to see an artist with Springsteen's decades-long track record of low ticket prices, anti-scalping advocacy, and fan-friendly ticket policies. And in my opinion, one of the most grounded, sincere American icons, simply given to greed. Again, I think we discussed this a few minutes ago. Has nothing to do with Springsteen's greed. It has to do with the entire industry of an E Street Band tour. An E Street Band tour is an entire industry, and it exists for 2 years, and and thousands of people make their livings from it. One guy, a guy who just sold all his records for $500 million, so he doesn't have to worry about that, and his kids don't have to fight about that when he's gone. He sold it, and now it's just liquid, and now he can make investments, and there's probably trust funds for everybody, and the guy's fine, he's fine, he's got all the money in the world. He doesn't have to tour. He's touring for us and for all the people that make their livings off of a tour. The industry needs a tour. The industry's fucked. They had to you know how much money? You know, I'm not a big core. I know people think I defend Ticketmaster a lot. I do because they get a bad rap. I'm not saying they're great. They're not. All right. They overcharge. They're I got problems with them too. But the problems that people express, I can't get on board with. They're like a smokescreen. They're not anything close to the real issues. Ticketmaster lost their ass in the pandemic. They not only didn't make any money for 2 years, but they had to refund money. Billions refunded. Other shows, they were able to hold off for 2 years. And they finally have started performing some of them. Some of them got their tours out and have done it. Some of those show, that Pearl Jam show that we just watched the other day, they were talking about how those tickets were bought 2 years before the show and rescheduled because of the pandemic. These companies lost money. People lost money. The industry is up, and Bruce Springsteen's in a hero for going out in it and helping. Forget the fans on the website. The truth is in the ticket sales. The truth is in the full arena. The truth is in that all these people crying are still talking about the tickets they bought. They got buyer's remorse after the fact. They still bought them. They didn't have to buy them. They still bought them. Dear editor, I've been a fan since the 70s. One of the many loyal fans who have supported Bruce Springsteen for decades. He has the right to charge whatever he wants for his concert tickets. All right, there you go. This guy makes sense. I have a feeling it's going to take a turn. There's always a but. And his fans have the right to decide. The but hasn't come. He's right there. I agree. If they want to spend that money to see him in person, when he was on Broadway, he charged $700 plus for some tickets. Most tickets for $700 and $850. And you could usually get one at the box office on the night of the show for $500. One of the worst seats in the house. The $75 tickets were a lottery, and you had to be super lucky and really live in the New York area to get it because you couldn't fly in at the last second, which was how they gave them away at the last second, how they sold them at the last second. So you had to spend $500 for a bad seat. Oh, most seats were $850 up front, $700 for the middle, $500 in the back. So while I thought that was extreme and I chose not to pay that, same with me. He was transparent with his pricing and I respected that. Me too. Good first paragraph. The past tense on the respected. That's where I think we're going to lose this guy. What's upsetting about his current tour is not the wide discrepancy in the cost of the tickets, but the lack of transparency, the hypocrisy and the greed. There it is again with the greed. The greed where he's feeding and housing thousands of children nationwide so their parents have jobs. That's the greed. The hypocrisy and the greed that has accompanied the ticketing process. For years, Bruce professed his loyalty to his audience, which he still is. It's to the audience, a tiny little percentage of the audience who really don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They're the ones with the Bruce still has great loyalty to his audience. If a few members of the audience want to leave, go ahead. With the new Ticketmaster system, which he apparently agreed to, Bruce has replaced the scalper. Okay. So he gets the extra money on the few tickets that were marked up because of demand, because the supply and demand left very few left, and the best seats are priced at their actual market value. He gets that instead of Sleazy Joe the scalper. And I support scalpers. I have never had a problem with scalpers, but let's face it, you hated scalpers. Now he's replaced them, and now you hated him. Well, this is Lori. I'll stop saying he. I was so with you on the first paragraph, Lori. Let's see. If Bruce wants to charge $1,000 a ticket, why not be honest and announce it? Well, I don't think he was. I mean, I know people were a little surprised by the sticker price of the $3.99 starting price for the best seats in the arena. Maybe he could have released those starting prices. The problem is they release the starting prices, then people log in and they see the $1,000 dynamic price and they don't understand. And Ticketmaster has, this is their way of doing it. It's a dynamic pricing. I don't know, people are really upset about it, but the bottom line is before dynamic pricing, you were just as upset when tickets sold out in 5 seconds and you had to go to the aftermarket to find them and they were really expensive. You were just upset back then, because the real enemy is supply and demand, basic math, and 90,000 people can't buy 20,000 seats, especially when they're buying 2 or 4 at a time. The average, let's see, why can't he be transparent? The process was deceptive and took advantage of his most loyal fans. Didn't take advantage of anybody. Nobody held a gun to anyone's head and said, buy this ticket. It goes against everything he claimed he stood for. I love how people say that, but please bring out bring out the interview, bring out the writing, bring out where he's explained what he stood for and how that goes against selling tickets for market value. Because saying things like that is bullshit. All right. He has never, ever done anything that goes against what he said he stood for. And if you've got some proof that he has, bring it on. Let's see. The average person cannot afford his tickets, and his audience is now an elite group. The message this sends is that the working man is no longer valued by Bruce. The very people who helped him build up are no longer included in the party. Oh, well, that's bullshit too. I mean, maybe you don't feel included, but you are not the very people who helped him build up. You are one person. One. He is one of the biggest artists in the world. There are millions of people. Stop looking at yourself as so important. I don't look at myself as so important. We've all got our opinions. None of our opinions matter. His opinion is the only one that matters. I love this. Bruce always says that he's having this conversation with his audience. But what a lot of the audience doesn't seem to understand is that conversation is one way. He speaks and we listen. We don't, maybe if you see him on the street, you get a chance to say something back. Maybe you could go boo, or maybe you go yay if you like what he says or don't like what he says. But yeah, he speaks. It's a one-way conversation. He sings, he speaks, he writes. We listen, we read, we dance, we consume the conversation, but we don't participate except to cheer and to whoa in the background, when it's our turn to whoa, whoa, whoa. That's it, man. That's our place. You don't have to like what he puts out. He's the artist. He puts out what he wants. You don't get to manipulate it. You don't get to control it. Only he does. And then he puts it out. And if you don't like it, that's fine. But shut the fuck up about it. It's none of your fucking business. He liked it enough to put it out. And it's out. And if you don't like it, your opinion is worthless. That gets me banned on BTX. I'll come back with a new screen name. And as soon as I tell someone their opinion is worthless, I get banned. And it's not for telling them their opinion is worthless. It's because that fucking Flynn recognizes the sentiment. I'm the only one in the world who tells people that their opinion is worthless. Everybody else says, you're entitled to your opinion. Yeah, you are. When you're taking a shit, you can think all about your opinion all you want. That's what it's worth. All right. The only opinion that matters is Bruce Springsteen's opinion. And anybody he goes to ask their opinion, he's never asked yours. So shut up. I'm not talking to you personally, Lori. I hope that nobody who wrote these letters is watching this. When I say shut up, I'm talking to everybody who says some of these things about how you built him up and now you're not included in the party. Okay. You didn't build him up. Millions of people born in the USA. That's really what launched him into mega superstardom. Millions of people. And you weren't the only one. It's when he moved into stadiums. worldwide. Worldwide. The whole, he puts on, he says, I'm just going to tour the River box set in the Northeast for a little bit. Just a couple of shows, play the whole album. And promoters all over the world said, no, you got to come to Australia. Let's see. I am fortunate enough that I can afford tickets. All right, Lori, I'm glad. We'll see you there. But I chose not to buy them because I don't like being manipulated and taken advantage of. Bruce's silence now speaks volumes. You better not go, Lori. Better not go. These are strong words that are now published. Backstreets magazine's website. That says you're not going. You don't want to be manipulated. You better not go. Don't go. I just want to bet she goes. Somewhere, wherever she's trying to go. Wherever. I will cherish my memories and continue to wish Bruce happiness and success. It just won't be on my dime. We'll see. She'll never report back that she went. I bet she goes. I was able to buy tickets for 11 European shows. Is this guy going to cry about ticket prices because he couldn't afford a 12th show? I was able to buy tickets for 11 European shows, all front of stage, or whatever it was called in the different countries. Does that mean not rear stage? Does that mean uppers, way in the back, anywhere, floor, anywhere? At face value, Gothenburg was the cheapest at $120. I don't even know if this is American money he's quoting, but tickets for German and Italian shows were around $155, while only Zurich and Oslo were around the $200 mark. It all sounds very reasonable. In the US, even before the wild fluctuations that took tickets into the thousands of dollars, $500 or more as the base price for a GA ticket or a very good seat is ridiculous. Well, no, they were $399 and $299 in some markets, plus about $88 in fees. So $488 would have gotten you a pit ticket if you were lucky enough to be in the instant where they sold out before the dynamic pricing kicked in, and they went up to about $700 to $1,200, depending on the market. Depending on where it was, where now before dynamic pricing, they would have been completely sold out in a second. Now there were still some increased dynamic pricing pit tickets, but they started at $400. And okay, they were cheaper in the stadiums. That's great. But let's remember that Europeans got stadium shows and we got arena shows, 20,000 seats to 50,000 and 60,000. And they got multiple nights, where I think we only got 1 or 2 cities that have multiple nights on this whole tour. Everything is a one-night stop. But in Europe, he's playing 2 nights here and 2 nights there and 3 nights here, and they're stadiums. There's no comparison. It'll come back. It'll be the same thing when they do the stadiums here. There'll be a lot more cheap seats. The front seats, the good seats, are still going to be dynamically priced. They're still going to be expensive. I can't believe how long we've gone over time. I'm more angered by the standard US prices than the dynamic pricing. I hope that very few dynamically priced tickets, say over $1,000, will be sold. But as Hal Schwartz pointed out in the None But the Brave podcast, those skyrocketing prices lead people to think that prices between $500 and $1,000 are a bargain. That in itself is a cynical marketing tool. Whatever, man. Cry about the marketing tool. You either agree that it's worth it and you buy it, or you think it's not worth it and you don't buy it. You know, they have to sell 20,000 seats in an arena. That's not always easy. For Springsteen, pretty easy, but it's not always easy. Nobody wants the shitty seats, and the only way to sell the shitty seats is to make the good seats really fucking expensive. Then they'll say, or they have to give away the shitty seats. If you can get good seats cheap, then who's going to buy the shitty seats? How can they justify such a high price for the US shows? Well, I just told you that. The only logical reason I can see is that they decided to put the highest prices on the market to somehow align with the idea that Bruce offers the best live performance, which he does, and they did. As Landau told the New York Times, someone universally regarded as among the very greatest artists of his generation. Yes, exactly. That was the statement, and it was right on the money. Bruce released a brilliant album 10 years ago on which most songs dealt with the personal and social problems stemming from income inequality. As the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, at these prices, the rich will be able to buy tickets and the poor will either sit at the back or have to stay outside looking in. I mean, poor. If you're poor, if you can't put food on your table, you shouldn't be going to concerts anyway. If you're struggling, but you can afford a night out, concerts are an expensive night out. If you choose to pick a concert, whether it's Springsteen or anyone, parking and drinks and the whole thing, it's expensive. It's not like going to the bar. It's not like watching a game on a TV at a local pub, which is also expensive. It's expensive to go to a concert. And if you choose that to be your night out, you need to sacrifice other things. That's how it is. It's the industry. It's not Bruce Springsteen. I mean, the Eagles have been getting this kind of money for 20 years. Let's see. Bruce released a brilliant album, and Income Inequality, Stand in the Back. He said his artistic goal is to write and sing about the difference between the American dream and the American reality. What I see here is a gap between the things he used to sing and talk and write about and his ticket pricing policy. I can't say the same things over and over again. You know, people are full of shit. The industry is what it is. It's expensive to put on a fucking concert. And the bigger the artist, the more expensive. The more people have their hands in the till. He's not going around playing little, tiny places. He's playing big state-of-the-art arenas. He's hooking up with the biggest promoters in town. He's got to go with Live Nation. He doesn't have any choice in these matters. I think he's got these choices. Oh, let's talk about what Crowded House did. Who? Who the fuck is Crowded House? His next album is going to sell more albums than Crowded House sold in their entire discography. So even not being directly affected by these ticket prices, yet you're still going to cry about them. I never attempted to buy tickets for US shows. A longtime European fan is angered by all this, has lost faith in Bruce Springsteen. Is this the same guy who bought 11 shows? You bought 11 shows. Shut the fuck up, Ralph D from Germany. Shut up. A longtime European fan is angered by all this, has lost faith in Bruce Springsteen, the artist and the person, and understands the feeling of disappointment the US fans are suffering. I hope you sell your fucking 11 shows. Fans like these, right? Dear editor, we're almost done. We'll go watch the show. I'm going to set this to start however long it is before the show. And you probably were like, why did he say it's 7:31 at the beginning of the show? Because I really thought I even set a timer. So I would only go a half an hour. But because the show is not actually starting, because I'm pre-taping this, I had to keep going. I guess I couldn't we'll talk about the rest next week. There's so much here. We're almost done. Dear editor, I followed that dream for 34 years. And that's an Elvis song, by the way. If you're going to pull, I know Bruce covered Follow That Dream, but if you're going to pull like titles or lyrics out of your hat to make a point, maybe not a cover. She's got to get out of this place. I think it's Pascal. It's a guy, I think. Pascal from Switzerland. Dear editor, I followed that dream for 34 years and the promise was broken. Oh, follow that dream. The promise was broken from the promise. Okay, I'm sorry, Pascal. You got your Bruce cred back. I cashed in a few of my dreams. Though I live in Switzerland and we don't have dynamic pricing yet, I paid CHF 220. I don't know what that means, CHF. Approximately 200. Oh, I guess that's Swedish funds. That's approximately 220 to 230. You really needed to make that difference. You really needed to point out that it's a $10 difference between American money and Switzerland money. approximately $230 for a 2023 tour ticket. Any higher and I won't attend a Springsteen concert. Well, he found your cap, didn't he? I bought a ticket for $180 for Tulsa. It came to $200 with the insurance and everything. If Bruce really wanted to do something with these prices, he would seem to have the power to do so. What surprises me more than the dynamic pricing is that Bruce has not taken a public position on it. Again, people, he does not owe you anything. There's no explanation needed. This fantasy is in your minds and in the minds of those podcast people and in the minds of Goldstein, Flynn. He's a podcast person. He's one of the two. Schwartz and Flynn, Goldstein, and these nuts, Howie, Chaz, these nuts. Those guys are setting a narrative that have nothing to do with reality. Let's see. He does not owe you an explanation. The tickets were a success. The industry has been selling tickets this way for a long time. His manager put out a statement that said, as such, that they're not getting anything more than their peers are getting. In fact, they're getting less than some of their peers. And he barely even has any peers because he's one of the top artists of all time. The statement was fine. It spoke for Bruce. And that's all you're going to get. Stop asking for it. You don't have it coming. You don't deserve it. And he ain't going to give it to you. Let's see. He has not taken a public position. Now, he did. His manager speaks for him. In my view, there are two possibilities. He's uncertain how to react and hides. He's not hiding. He's out getting ice cream. He's showing up with the Killers. He's showing up with the who did he just show up with? The Bleachers. He's showing up with the Coldplays. He's showing up on the beach. He's showing up at the Jersey Freeze. He's taking selfies. He is not hiding from anybody. These things are in your fucking head. My solution. Oh, wait, we're not done. Two possibilities. He's uncertain how to react and he hides, or he doesn't care anymore and he's lost touch with reality and his true fans. You're not the true fan. You've lost touch with reality. Pascal D in Switzerland. You've lost touch with reality. His fans are fine. You just aren't one of them. That's what it is. That's what hurts. That's what hurts people so much. They realized they're not as big a fan as they thought they were. They realize they're a fan to about $80 a ticket. After that, not so much. My solution, don't buy any tickets until the prices are on a level you agree is fair. Hey, I've always said that. Don't buy a ticket unless you are thrilled with the price, with the seat, or hopefully with both. Ever. Never buy a ticket that you are not. Buy a ticket you regret. What's the point of that? Why would you buy a ticket for a concert that you regret buying? My solution, don't buy any tickets till the price are on a level you agree is fair. And if they don't decrease, don't buy any. Maybe the best lesson would be for concert arenas and stadiums to be more than half empty. Good luck with that, buddy. Good luck. Good luck with your boycott. Your one ass not being in a seat, making an arena have 10,000 empty seats. Good luck, Pascal D in Switzerland. All right, so half empty with rich concert goers, unable to create the kind of atmosphere we all appreciated up to the last tour. These shows are going to rock. You people are so crazy. You're so full of shit. Dear editor, I am not usually one to complain about much, let alone send an email, but John Landau's statement that the average ticket price has been in the mid $200 range is full of shit. Based on, what do you base that on? This is Cameron C. from Pittsfield, Massachusetts. What do you base that on? Oh, I know. You base it on your own ass. So shut the fuck up. John Landau's got the numbers. Ticketmaster has the numbers. You don't have the numbers. You just think out of your ass. So shut up. I clicked on, here it is. Here's the guy. His sample of one out of 90,000 people. He's going to tell us how it went because of his one experience. I clicked on sales right at 10 a.m. The first choice tickets were astronomical. Caught in the moment, we purchased tickets at face value, first sale, not resales. We've got $5,000 on credit cards for 8 tickets, 6 Albany and 2 Mohegan. Oh my God, fuck this guy. I'm supposed to feel bad for this guy because he put $5,000 on a credit card for 8 tickets. What is that? $600 a ticket. $600 a ticket. Not that bad. If he got good seats, he got in right at 10 a.m. He probably did get good seats. He's crying about it. He got in right at 10 a.m. Soon my wife and I were looking at each other, worried about the bill due. You should have thought of that before you pulled the trigger. On 8 tickets, 6 and 2. 6 and 2. Who are the 4 people going with you to, where are they from? Oh, they're for Albany and Mohegan Sun. The second hardest ticket. Here's the 3 hardest tickets on the tour, okay? You got Madison Square Garden, Mohegan Sun, and Hollywood, Florida because of the size. And then honorable mention, Philadelphia and Buffalo seem to be very, very difficult. Nothing, no dynamic seats, nothing but crazy priced after sale. Plenty of time to wait it out. But Mohegan Sun. Let's see. So we've got $5,000 on credit cards. Soon my wife and I were looking at each other, worried about the bill due and saying to each other, what the hell did we just do and why? Well, because you're impulsive and you don't think things through. And again, not Bruce Springsteen's fault. We could have used that money for some home project. Yes, you could have. We are the people Bruce writes about on the river. You mean his sister? You're his sister? You wrote about his sister on the river. You're his sister? I don't think you're his sister. If you're his sister, you get free tickets. What the hell did we just do? Bruce writes us about us on the river. We both work, but with 2 little elementary age kids, we are check to check. Yeah, I live check to check and I didn't have kids. You know why? Because I live check to check. Kids are expensive. This letter. Okay, if you live check to check and you got 2 kids, why are you thinking about going to a concert at all? At any price? Yes, it was our choice to purchase. Yes, it was. And we did. Because of my adrenaline to see Bruce and getting caught up in the whirlwind of Ticketmaster. And you knew that Bruce was going to maybe tour when you had kids. Did you think, hey, honey, if we have 2 kids, maybe we won't be able to afford to see Bruce Springsteen next time? Did that come up in the conversation when you decided to have kids? I mean, you're welcome to have kids. Everybody can have kids. Kids are great. People have kids. I wanted to see Bruce Springsteen. I don't make a lot of money. My kid deserves better than someone who would rather see Bruce Springsteen than get him a retainer. So I didn't have a kid. I didn't want to be a shitty father. Let's see. I don't even want to go now. The wind has been taken out of my sail. And the crazy thing is, they have to be relisted at a couple hundred more than we paid in order to break even. And why do you deserve to break even? You don't. You really didn't have to buy those tickets. You were impulsive. It's not Bruce Springsteen's fault that you were impulsive. He's not the bad guy here. And you should be able to sell those Mohegan Suns without taking a loss. I don't know what you paid exactly, about $600. I think you'll sell those Mohegan Suns. Those 2 tickets for Mohegan Sun. I think you'll sell those, get your money back. I don't know about the 6 to Albany. Bruce's mum, and I get it. You get it? He wasn't mum. Lando made a statement for him. But Landau sounds like a politician. I guarantee you that Bruce approved that statement. I don't blame Bruce. He has the music and the whole production to worry about. But if I were him, I would tell Landau to stand up and say, yeah, we fucked up and didn't realize they would skyrocket as soon as they went on sale. They're not going to say that. And they're going to use dynamic in the stadiums. You people are delusional. You think that you've made some effect, that you had some difference, that anyone that hears you, no one's listening. Because first of all, They don't need to listen because you're wrong. You're wrong. You didn't need to put $5,000 on a credit card. You could have not given in to FOMO, fear of missing out, 10 months in advance. All right. I've gone to concerts when I couldn't afford. At times in my life when I couldn't afford to waste any money on concerts. You know how I did it? I went to the concert and I asked everybody if they had an extra. And when someone said yes, I was like, can I have it? I'm really broke. I came out hoping that somebody had an extra. And usually I got one. I mean, honestly, I always got one. I'd love to do that. I usually try to offer something, but I've offered nothing because people have an extra and they're going to eat it anyway. So you didn't have to spend $5,000 if having 5,000, if spending $5,000 was such a financial hardship for you. I really want to get you off to the show. I really don't want this to be much longer. So he wants to sell his ticket. So if you're looking for Mohegan Sun or Albany, find Cameron from Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Bruce's mom, people are calling it a money grab as the swan song. I've been on every tour since 99. Ooh, 99. A fan since 84. Why did it take you 15 years? He toured in 84, he toured in 85, he toured in 88, he toured in 92, he toured in 95. A lot of chances in those 15 years to go see him. You didn't go until 99. So, you know, Mr. I've been a fan since 99 or since 84. And maybe he doesn't care. It's his right not to care. But we just feel it contrasts with his writings. Maybe the whole thing was just a magic trick. Maybe I should have called it quits after November 2009 in Buffalo at Clarence's last show. Maybe Cameron. Oh, I can't go on. There's too many. There's only one more, but I think I've made my point. And I know you guys have been here way too long. I know it's been way over 30 minutes. There's no counter on my recorder, so I can't figure out how long it is until it's over. But my 30-minute timer ended a long time ago, and I appreciate you coming. And I know you're looking at the clock and going, oh, he must be almost done because it's approaching showtime, because I'm going to find out how long this was, and I'm going to set it to start that many minutes before 8 o'clock. So thanks for coming to the pre-tape pre-show. It should be live next week. Enjoy tonight's live stream. The link is in your email or your Twitter direct messages, and hopefully we can keep doing this and a little bit more hush hush. And it's obviously going to be smaller. But thanks, guys, for coming out. I'll see you in the chat. See you over there for Phisherman's Secret Garden Saturday Night live stream.